The Google I/O conference shows its approach to integrate AI. Finally, Microsoft issues an emergency update for the Windows 10 BitLocker issue. Foxconn announces the end of outsourcing as AI dominates manufacturing. Welcome to Hashtag Trending. I'm your host, Jim Love. Let's get into it. Google's I/O 2025 developer event showed just how much it's betting on AI and how deep it's going using AI to reshape core products like search, workplace, and even YouTube. One of the biggest reveals was AI mode in Google Search. It's designed to give you direct AI-generated results at the top of the page without needing to click through websites. Google's been toying with AI-assisted search for a while, but this would seem to be the real deal moving forward. We've covered this in the past, but just to recap, this is a major change for both Google and commercial websites. This is going to cannibalize a lot of Google click-through search revenue, which is huge. And it's going to have major impacts on web traffic. It's been shown to have a huge effect on the number of people who do not click through to a website. The feature is opt-in for now, but it represents a major shift in how search might work going forward. Google also rolled out major updates in its Gemini family of AI models. Gemini 2.5 Flash and Pro models have added new reasoning modes for the Pro model called Deep Think, and Flash, as you may recall, is the multimodal offering from Google's DeepMind. DeepMind was the unit that brought together all of Google's AI offerings from three separate units: Google Brain, Google Research, and DeepMind, the company that it bought in 2014. The consolidation seems to have paid off, though, with a much more integrated approach to its products and some bold moves in search and other areas. They also announced Gemini 1.5 Flash. Now, this is smaller, faster, and cheaper than version 2.5. And although version 2.5 does outperform Flash 1.5 on many benchmarks, it's still impressive with the same 1 million token context window, which is huge. And Flash 1.5 has been built for real-time applications like mobile use and embedded tools in workspace apps like Gmail and Docs. It's also much cheaper to run. On the creative side, Google has launched a tool called VO that can generate high-definition video from text prompts. Paired with Imagen 3 for image generation and Music AI Sandbox for sound, the company now has a full suite of generative tools for visuals, audio, and even storytelling. It seems like Google, that has for so long been drifting behind OpenAI and Meta, is finally playing to its strengths, integrating AI into everything it already owns: Search, Android, Chrome, YouTube, and Docs, and all of these are getting smarter and more intelligent. Gemini is now becoming more like a new operating system for AI, and with new APIs, tools, and device-level integrations, Google is offering more entry points than ever before. Microsoft has issued an emergency update for Windows 10 users following reports that the May security patch caused some systems to enter BitLocker recovery mode unexpectedly. Fortunately, these problems seem to be affecting mostly corporate devices with Intel vPro processors and Trusted Execution Technology, or TXT, enabled, because what the user sees is a blue screen and they are going to be asked for their BitLocker recovery code. We only have one Windows device. Thank God it's running Windows 11, because I have to confess, I have no idea where I'd find that key. For those who are affected, there is an emergency fix, KB 506-61768, available through Microsoft's Update Catalog. Users unable to apply the update immediately can temporarily disable Intel VT for Direct I/O and TXT in settings to restore system access. Microsoft recommends re-enabling these settings after installing the update. But if you don't have an IT department that has your key and you're listening to this, I'd go get the update instead. Foxconn is the largest manufacturer of electronics in the world, operating out of Taiwan with factories in China, India, the US, and other countries. Estimates are that it makes about 40% of the electronic devices in the world. Chances are you have many of them in your house or work. And at Computex 2025, the global tech show, Foxconn chairman Young Liu talked about how it had once been not just necessary, but profitable to outsource manufacturing to low-wage countries, a strategy that Foxconn employed better than anybody. But he took the time to make a bold prediction. In the future, he said, we may not need to find low-cost labor anymore. We can rely on generative AI and robotics. And Foxconn is living proof of this. Where many Western countries are still stumbling to introduce AI, Foxconn and others have gone all in. Liu said, for instance, that AI is now capable of handling up to 80% of the work required to set up new production lines. That means faster deployments, more flexibility, and less reliance on shifting operations between countries in search of lower wages. How are they having this success? Well, Foxconn isn't just plugging in off-the-shelf models. It's built FoxBrain, its own AI system, trained on Meta's Llama 3 and 4, and enriched with proprietary factory data. So they're not using some massively new AI that they've invented. They're using Llama 3 and 4, readily available to anyone. The system is being used to simulate factory designs, automate layout decisions, and optimize supply chains long before a single machine is moved. Now, this approach gives Foxconn tight control over both the data and the workflows. Another reason for their success is how well they've thought out their approach. Rather than just replacing workers outright like Klarna and others have done, AI is being used to redesign how factories are planned and scales. It's a pragmatic approach, and it's paying big dividends. We thought we could replace every human, Liu admitted. We quickly realized we could not. Even in their manufacturing setup, AI struggles to finish the last 20% of the job unless it has human assistance. But that leaves 80% of the job done by AI, and that's a huge boost. Liu also said generative AI is helping Foxconn resolve production issues more quickly. By focusing on where they can have success and holding on to their key design and implementation teams, Foxconn can now benefit from the efficiencies of AI and have their key people free to address more complex problems. Foxconn's strategy suggests that the future of manufacturing might not be about geography, but about intelligence. Companies that use AI to rethink operations, not just cut costs, could be a leap ahead in speed and efficiency and no longer dependent on low-wage employees, and they can operate anywhere. It's ironic that as Eastern countries have had to play catch-up with AI while the U.S. boasts about its leadership, it's these same Eastern countries that are further ahead in terms of applying AI to get results in industry. Foxconn is certainly a leader, but many companies operating in China, like Honda and BYD, and in other countries, are beginning to automate jobs that once only humans could do, but using this same pragmatic approach. By the time the U.S. has supposedly repatriated its manufacturing, this manufacturing will be done in largely automated plants owned by companies like Foxconn. And while I won't diminish the race towards artificial general intelligence, the nuts and bolts of manufacturing can be done with AI that is readily available today, if you do it right, focusing on what processes it can be great at versus just trying to slash people for costs. It's a lesson about hubris that Western countries need to learn quickly. And that's our show for today. Never shy about sharing my opinion. I'd love to hear what you think. You could reach me at editorial@technews.ca or on LinkedIn, or if you're watching this on YouTube, leave me a comment. But if you're that guy whose comments I keep deleting, it's not because I don't believe your conspiracy theory. Well, actually, I don't. Yeah, you're right, I don't. But I am censoring you. But if you drop your email address in the comments, I will gladly send you a tinfoil hat to make up for it. The rest of you normies out there, love to get your comments. I'm your host, Jim Love. Have a wonderful Wednesday.